U.S. House to vote on a bill criminalizing boycott of Israel. The U.S. House is set to vote on a bill criminalizing boycotts of the Israeli regime with penalties of up to $1 million or 20 years in prison.
Could boycotting Israel land you in prison? Well, in the U.S., that's now a possibility. A bipartisan bill targets supporters of the global boycott movement against Israel. The so-called Israel Anti-Boycott Act would make support of the boycott a felony. Violators would face a minimum penalty of $250,000, a maximum of $1 million, and up to 20 years in prison.
So let's get this straight. Americans, they cannot say anything bad about Israel. Americans are to be sent to jail if they talk about Israel in a bad way. Americans could face a penalty of $1 million if they protested or said something bad about Israel. Who owns America? Does Israel own America? Anyway, guys, let's continue watching.
You cannot make this shit up. House Bill 867. What a time, what a life, what a reality, what a world we're living in. Anti-Boycott Act. It's going to be voted on Monday, May 5th, which is tomorrow. If it is passed into law, it will be illegal to boycott the country of Israel, and that comes with a penalty of $1 million and 25 years in prison. Just read this. Prohibited actions include refusing to do business with companies organized under the laws of the boycotted country, furnishing information about whether someone is associated with charitable or fraternal organizations that support the boycotted country. These BDS lists, these investigations that find ties between companies and the country is going to be made illegal. Oh, this one's interesting. Refusing to employ any U.S. person on the basis of race, religion, sex, or national. How did that make the... How did they even read this? What even is a constitution? What is rights? What was all that we were doing for the last 100 or so years?
So back in the days when you thought you could go buy Oreos, you thought that was your choice. You thought, you know, I'll probably buy a Coke today. Or, you know what, I'm going to go buy some McDonald's. Now you know if you don't go buy McDonald's, you know you don't go buy Oreos, you know you're not watching Disney, you're going to jail for up to 20 years. You could unalive somebody and get less. You could unalive the President of the United States and still get less. Or you'll lose your house. You have to support Israel. You have to support Israel. The U.S. House of Representatives is preparing to vote on a controversial bill that would impose severe penalties, including steep fines and lengthy prison terms, on American students who participate in boycotts of the Israeli regime or its illegal settlements, which such boycotts are promoted by international bodies like the United Nations and the European Union. Can you imagine now you got police officers sitting there at, you know, your local Costco or your local Walmart and watching you to see if you choose a Coca-Cola product or if you choose something else. And if you don't choose Coca-Cola, hey, you're getting deported. Not even deportation for you American citizens. You get $1 million fine or you go to jail for 20 years and you're treated like a criminal in your own country.
This is insane. This is sick. This is crazy. This is stupid. So American people are now being forced to consume everything Israel, even if they don't want to. As we all know, it's just common knowledge, it's out there that people are literally boycotting Israel because of everything that the country has done, most especially in the Gaza, in Palestine. And they are signing an executive order that any American who boycotts anything Israel is to go to jail for 20 years. Is Donald Trump sick in the head? Ladies and gentlemen, as you watch this video, let me know what you make. Do you make any sense out of this? Does it? Wow. No, because DJT has pushed it so far. Oh, well, you don't like a Starbucks? You're not allowed to use your voices. I don't like Starbucks because...
This law is crazy and it's about to be passed. Act 867. $1 million fines and 20 years in prison for the anti-boycott laws of Israel in America. I don't know how they're going to enforce this, but seeing as they're taking people's rights away left, right and centre, it could be any means possible. Like, America is seriously turning into a dictatorship. Do you live in America and is this affecting you? Let me know how you feel about it in the comments, because this is absolutely mental. Like, every day I'm hearing something crazy and then I fact check it and it's true. If you need any more evidence that these guys are on the wrong side of history, is they're taking away your freedom of choice and your freedom of speech. Now they can literally deport you from the country, even if you're a US citizen. Guys, if you do not stand up for your rights now, you're not going to have any rights left.
HR 867 wants to put Americans in prison for 20 years and fine them $1 million for boycotting Israel. And yes, Democrats have already signed on to support this. Everyone, every single American should start fully boycotting Israel.
Fascism is knocking on our doors once again, asking to be let in like a featured actor in the movie Sinners. They're not just coming after non-citizens for protesting now, though. They're coming after you next. Tomorrow, May 5th, the House of Representatives is voting on a bill that could criminalize your free speech. House Bill H.R. 867, otherwise known as the IGO Anti-Boycott Act, will go up for a vote with the House of Representatives, and it is shocking. This bill includes fines up to $1 million and 25 years in prison if you boycott Israel. Yes, Americans participating in boycotts of Israel or its settlements could face unconstitutional levels of punishment if those boycotts are endorsed by international bodies like the UN or the EU. Now, this is especially targeting small businesses and student groups. Under this law, you would no longer be able to refuse to do business with Israeli companies or settler groups, whether that is buying goods from them or selling goods to them. You would no longer be able to refuse participation or entry to Israelis who have served in the IDF, for example, in things like student groups, even under the basis of objection to immoral acts like, I don't have children. And I don't know about you, but that sounds a lot like a DEI policy to me. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is bad when it comes to oppressed minority groups, but when it comes to Israel, broadening anti-boycott legislation to target movements or ideologies that you do not like the BDS movement, that is fascism. That is a direct targeting of our constitutional liberties, our freedom of speech, and our right to protest. And it's a massive governmental restriction on political expression. This country was literally founded on that type of political expression, boycotts of foreign entities. I mean, does the Boston Tea Party ring a bell to no one in Congress? Contact your local representatives and tell them to vote no on H.R. 867. You can find their information on house.gov through the Find My Representative tool. Unconstitutional bills like this shouldn't even make it off the ground.
Goods are not turning into America. Meanwhile, Trump is forcing Americans to buy Israeli stuff. Wow.
Okay, so Congress is trying to pass anti-BDS, anti-boycott legislation. And that means that we are seeing an uptick in people joking about how would they even enforce this? Oh my god, I'm gonna get arrested if I don't buy my monthly allotment of Sabra hummus. And what I need you to understand is that 38 states currently have anti-BDS laws, and it's important to understand how they are enforced, because while the constitutionality of those laws is up in the air, because there isn't really a legal litmus test for determining whether or not a consumer boycott is discriminatory, which is what a lot of these laws are based in. The idea that it's discriminatory to boycott products from a specific country because it's discrimination on the basis of country of origin, ethnic group, Israelis, those laws still do lead to a degree of censorship. So that means that if you are a government contractor in any of those states, you have to sign a contract confirming that you do not protest or boycott Israel. And in some states like Florida are more strict. So for example, Florida has an online blacklist of companies and for-profit organizations that boycott Israel. Public entities in Florida cannot enter into contracts worth $1 million or more with those blacklisted entities. And state pension funds can't invest in companies that are engaging in politically motivated boycotts of Israel. I mentioned 38 states. These are all of the states as of November 2023 that have passed this legislation. I believe since then, Alaska should now be purple. And it's just really important to understand how these laws actually work, because when all of the information that is coming out about them and all of the discussion that is being had around these laws is over how ridiculous and difficult it would be to go after people on an individual consumer basis for this, it's obscuring what the laws actually do. And spreading correct and proper information right now is very important.